Drewbie against Juan. It will be a Terran versus Terran. For all of you that don't know, I always call him Juan because he has 30 million different names. He is major in StarCraft 2. I know he's gone by Kitty as well. Princess, but I will go by Juan in this match.
All right, man. I'm just going to call him Major. Because I know that's his alias right now. I'm going to stay true to his alias. You know, don't usually call players by their first name. But
when he went over to TSL, he was Terran.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he even changed it then. He went back to Terran? Because I know it was like
I do believe.
Terran.
I remember Artosis saying he was Terran. I might be just assuming too much.
Artosis might just be saying that because that's what he's been for. He's been Gossel Terran for so long.
Yeah.
Is that Gosi or Gossel? I never know if that's an L, man.
I thought it was Gosi. Gosi Terran.
Oh, Gosi Terran?
Yeah.
It's like Gosu, but not Gosu?
I think Gosi. I don't know what Gosi was. It was just a really good clan, though.
Oh, okay. It was a clan?
Yeah, it was a West clan in Kreen. Kreen team on the West Coast.
Cool beans, man.
US West, man.
All right, well, we're jumping into TBT, of course, on cross positions on Damage Inc., man. And we're in these top left, bottom right spawns, and those are the spawns that you enjoy seeing on this map.
Yep.
We just get a little bit better of a layout, some cool little features like those little minerals that block entrance into the natural. Of course, it can be taken out by a mule, but what's really difficult on this map is taking that third base, man. I mean, just look at that third to the right of the main. That thing's got 3 huge entrances into it. So it can be very, very difficult to defend. That's why that Zelnaga Tower ends up being absolutely crucial if you want to take a third.
Yeah.
So as a result, I feel like we might just end up seeing some 2-base timings from these players, unless they can try to get up some type of like split map scenario set up. Maybe hold that center control with some siege tanks up the cliffs. We'll have to wait and see, man.
Definitely. Now I know Major has been known to go mech style. I saw him go mech against Thorazane, and in those 2 matches, they were pretty unsuccessful. We'll see if he does the same thing. Drewbie, on the other hand, he does do bio.
Yeah.
So we have that bio versus mech dynamic. Now it's not 100% that's going to happen, but it's pretty likely that will happen.
Well, we actually don't see gas from either of these players, so it looks like both of them want to go for a gasless expansion, which is a bit surprising to me. While gasless expand is a great build to do, this map just seems like it has like some really big, opportunities to punish a build like that. Like if you send your command center down onto the low ground, granted you just have this one choke leading in, but you also of course have that backdoor entrance. So if someone went for some type of heavier 1-base timing, and then dropped a mule down to take out those minerals, come in the back door, you could be in some serious trouble. But with both of them going for gasless expansions, yeah, there it is with double gas coming out from Major after the command center. Both of them going for gasless expands, they won't have to worry as much about that early pressure. We'll have to wait and see what their transition is going to be coming in the mid game.
Well, we already can see things shaping up. Juan is going to go double gas after getting his 1 command center, and we do see that Drewbie is getting double racks before going after going that 1 command center. So they're playing their styles, man.
Yep. It's exactly like you called it, man. We're going to be seeing infantry against mech. I don't think Juan would have gone, or Major would have gone for double gas. Off of 1 barracks and not have added on, at least a tech lab by now, unless he was trying to rush that factory. So I think he is trying to rush out that mech play, whereas we still don't even see a single refinery from Drewbie. So he's going to be relying purely on unupgraded Marines here for a while. Not even going to have combat shield or stim, and that does worry me a bit, man. Do you think it's possible that based on this build, based on the fact that he's really focusing on minerals entirely, he's just going to go for a really quick 3rd orbital?
I don't think so. Normally doing something like that is suicide, but you never know. I mean, Drewbie, he's been training up in the Korean scene for a little bit. He might have some really crazy builds lined up here, and we do know that Juan has been training in the Korean scene as well. Might be some huge metagame, but yeah, there we go. I highly doubted it. 2 refineries plop down for Drewbie. I do think it's a little bit too late. A lot of bit too late.
Yeah, for those gas. I mean, it does seem strange. He's just been pumping out SCVs, pumping out Marines as much as possible. So we'll give him a pretty good economy, but I'm not sure how well that'll work out for him. Actually, look at the SCV count, man. It's actually 24 to 23. Really minor, but despite all that, despite the fact that Drewbie did not go up to gas quite as quickly, he's still behind on the SCV count. So I gotta attribute that to the fact that since he tried to put his command center on the low ground, he actually ended up having to delay it because there was an SCV scout that he was waiting for just a couple seconds, whereas we saw Major throw his down immediately, and that gave him that double SCV production just a little bit earlier.
I don't think it'll matter that much. I mean, the fact that Juan had to lift his command center and plop it down, I think that does even it out. So yeah, they're back at 27 and 27. They're mining just about the same amount. One thing I will mention, I like Drewbie putting his mules towards the natural. This is something we've talked about a lot of times. You don't want to put your mules all the way to your main when you have an expansion.
Right, yeah, you want to mine out your natural faster. You don't want to get your main mined out immediately, of course. Now, I'm really interested because look at this, man. A Tech Lab is on the starport, and he has started Cloak. We're going to see a mid-game Cloak transition from Major. He could be in a little bit of trouble here, though, because here come all these Marines, and he doesn't have that much to defend. Doesn't have siege mode for this tank, so these Marines could do a bit of damage. There is one bunker. We'll have to see if they decide to go for the engagement or not. He, of course, doesn't have any upgrades, no stim, no combat shield, so it might not be the best idea.
Yeah, he's just trying to scare his opponent a little bit. It looks like this one tank is just going to edge forward, get a couple of pot shots on these Marines, trying to bait them forward. Of course, Drewbie is not going to bite just yet. As you said, combat shields is on the way out, and I guess he's waiting for that right now. That does represent a big timing for him.
Yeah, and that could be really helpful, but it is very, very late, as we were talking about earlier, so I feel like he could have missed his timing here. You know, if he had dropped the double gas a little bit earlier, as we were talking about, then he would have had combat shields by the time this attack came.
Hell yeah.
And then I think with only one tank, no siege mode, and only one bunker, I think he could have walked forward and killed all that off, and we would have had to see Major pull SCVs. It would not have been pretty. It could have, you know, really hurt this Banshee play of his. Because he did take a risk, you know, rushing up to Cloak Banshee. That really hurt his defenses. But so is Drewbie. Drewbie's got his entire army out of position in the center of the map. He's not going to have anything in place to defend against these Banshees, man. And he doesn't have any turrets either.
No. He doesn't even have an engineering bay.
No eBay. He could be in some serious trouble. He's going to have to rely on scans, and I don't know if he's going to have the energy he needs.
Oh, and
oh my God, he's just going for the all-in counterattack. He's just sending his Marines forward. He's not sending them back to defend. I think he's just going to go for an all-in attack, man.
Yeah, he has. I think he has no choice at this point. I mean, he has no way to deal with this Banshee correctly. And an engineering bay is being constructed right now. Hellions and tanks are in the front. SCVs are going to be pulled offline. Is it going to be enough to push down this bunker? The bunker goes down. Only one Marine inside. And oh my God, Drewbie might be in a great position here.
Yeah, the problem is there's a Cloak of Banshee here helping out, and the SCVs get the surround. Now he's killing off an insane amount of SCVs here, but he is losing his entire army in the process. I'm looking at the workers kill tab, though. It looks like, you know, we did see the better engagement for Major with his Cloak Banshee killing off all these SCVs. So he is ahead 40 SCVs to 35. But you know what? That was a great play by Drewbie. If he had not done that attack, he would just be very far behind right now with nothing to show for it. Instead, he did kill off a lot of the SCVs as well as that tank from Major, and that's going to keep him in this game.
Here's the problem. Drewbie doesn't have any way of pressuring his opponent fast, whereas Juan, he has all the capabilities. He has that Cloak Banshee just sharking around the map, and Drewbie forever has to keep in mind, oh my God, I could be harassed to death at any point in time. I have to play a little bit more defensive. It's going to force him to make a very, very dynamic move, whether he wants to hard attack or hard defend. Right now he has to hard defend because he just does not have the space he needs with this Cloak Banshee threatening the harass.
Yeah, I mean, there is a turret up in the mineral line. Both of the bases there for Drewbie, and Stim had just finished, so he got out with that Banshee at just the right time. If he had stayed in there, we would have seen a Stim forward. Would have seen that picked off very quickly, so I like his control. He's being very careful. And you know what? He's already added on a third orbital, so Major is just rushing up his economy here, playing the very standard game, trying to get up into the macro, whereas, you know, Drewbie has not thrown down. There it is. He's just going to be starting his third command center now when, you know, Major is already triple SCV producing and triple muling, so that is going to give Major a very big advantage here. And look what he's doing, man. He's creating an entire wall of turrets at his main. He knows that when you're playing mech versus infantry, the number one thing you can do as infantry is drops. And there it is, man. Double drop, but he's going to defend against it with not only Vikings, but also this insane line of turrets. So Drewbie's going to be in some trouble here. Not going to be able to accomplish anything with these medevacs.
Drewbie's in a ton of trouble. First dropship actually goes down before any units can actually unload. The second one, it looks like it will unload all of its cargo, but Hellions are there to greet it along with siege tanks. It will not be enough. Meanwhile, Hellions are going to be swinging into the natural Drewbie, killing a lot of SCVs. Drewbie is just getting torn apart.
Yeah, man, this is not good. The workers kill tab is just disgusting right now. 27 workers is what Major has killed. It's 55 SCVs to 32 SCVs. Maybe if Drewbie had had the earlier third orbital, we could say he'd be able to get back into this with the triple SCV production and triple muling. But as it is, with Major being the one that's ahead on the orbitals and ahead on that far on SCVs and ahead on the tech, since of course he does have siege tanks to his name, whereas we're just going to see Marines running forward for Drewbie, which will not work that well against all that splash damage. I got to give a huge advantage this game to Major. It's definitely looking like he'll be able to take this one.
Yeah, Major is playing everything right at this point. It looks like the mech play from him is just too much. But there is a lot of position that he has to defend. That's the one big problem. Big scan comes up, and the Marines are actually going to push forward. No, they back up at the last second here. Just fighting over for that that Xel'Naga tower, but you know, Drewbie doesn't have a lot of options. He's utilizing his mobility. I like this, but there just are 0 holes in Juan's defense.
Well, I think he may have just did he just man or mule himself, man? I don't know. He's got this mule down to 6 o'clock, man.
Oh,
just
I
chilling.
hate doing that.
Yeah, I know, it's so annoying. You can't even select it until it's like already popped out of his little drop pod to send it to the minerals. So anytime you miss it, you just like sit there, like forget your multitasking, like stare at it for like a minute and like wait to like click on it. But oh, there we go. So he does get it back on those minerals. But right now we see Drewbie moving forward, perhaps for some aggression. These Vikings trying to pick off some of the medevacs. Oh, but he takes a lot of splash damage from the siege tanks. That Major has very well positioned up on this upper ground here. So Drewbie has just taken his 3rd, but the Banshee is still doing some more harass. It has 5 kills right now, and the Workers kill tab just gets bigger and bigger. And there's Cloak again, causing some problems here for Drewbie. These Cloak Banshees from Major, even after doing it after an expansion coming in the mid game, are just working so well for him. And there it is. We're going to see the mule drop taking out the minerals, running into the natural here. This could cause some problems for Major, but he is bringing those tanks back into position.
Yeah, Drewbie's just chilling there. Looks like the Vikings going to town on those medevacs, and Drewbie will have to just retreat for now, but he just keeps getting further and further behind. We can see the supply count. It's 110 to 141. Resource lost, or units lost, it's 5,700 to 3661. A big advantage for Juan at this point in time, over 2,000.
Yeah, he's just being much more efficient. He's playing defensively with siege tanks, whereas, you know, we keep seeing Drewbie trying to rush in with Marines, and it's just not working. The siege tank splash damage is just too much. Here he goes, suiciding a whole bunch of SCVs yet again. Every single one dies there. His siege tank is probably going to die here as well. He might be able to kill off one of Major's, yeah, with that Marine shot. But he lost his own tank in the process, and I feel like Drewbie's just getting himself further and further behind this game. The only thing that would have been great is if he had like some huge upgrade advantage, something like that, to pull himself through. But as it is, he's only at 1-0 compared to the 1-0 of Major, and they both have 2-0 on the way. So there's not really any advantage that Drewbie has to rely on this game. He's got to pull something out to make this win happen. He can't just keep playing the standard macro game. He's got to go for some type of harass. I know it's difficult since you know, Major is just playing so well defensively with these sensor towers, the turret walls. I don't know what Drewbie can do.
Yeah, it might be too late. Juan is pushing out right now. He has superior air control, superior ground control, and Drewbie only has Marines. These Hellions do a great job against just Marines. There's a superior tank count for Juan as well. So nothing is going Drewbie's way. He needs to get a good siege position, but as soon as he sieges up, Juan's just going to dodge it and go around that army.
Oh, but he's got to be oh, well, never mind. There's the GG coming out from Drewbie, man. So game 1 has gone to Major. Well played with that mid-game Banshee play. I think that was really, you know, the #1 thing that got him that game. He got so many SCV kills early on. We did see Drewbie able to kill off some of Major's SCVs, but not as many, and he had to lose every single one of his Marines to do it, whereas, of course, Major was able to just, you know, keep his Banshee alive for quite some time, do an insane amount of damage with that second Banshee as well, and that gave him a big enough advantage to just push that through to the mid-game and take the win.
Yep. Very clean cut. He just played defensive, got advantages, and took it home. So congratulations, Juan. We're going to move into game 2 and see if Drewbie can come back into this. Join us. We'll be back after this break.